a lot of nomads, they complain about Finland or Germany. They saying like all these people, they want to go on a hike alone and don't want to be bothered for 6 days in the woods, and nobody's like talking to each other, nobody's socializing. It's like so weird.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Actually, I'm a little bit shocked from the way like Spanish people and European people live. First of all, they take full month off in August. They just like right now everything is closed. Plus, everything is closed on Sundays because it's a family day and it's very important. It's like religious day. Every Sunday, family day, nothing is working, no work whatsoever. Plus, okay, it's a thing for Spain, but it's like siesta thing, and sometimes they have fiesta holidays. So a lot of restaurants, they open at 11, they work until like 1:30, maybe 2:30, hopefully. Then they close, then they reopen at 8. And then they work for 2 hours. And I'm like, and then they Sunday off. And they're like, no, Monday, Sunday off. And I'm like, guys, when are you working? Like, what is it? What is happening? And then it's like siesta one day. And you see this note, we are off like all August we going on holiday. And I'm like, okay, great. So they have very good culture about like not working as much. I think like they maybe spend less, but they also don't think that work, like they don't do like just 2-3 sittings like we do in New York. I used to work in a bar, like in a restaurant, and a bar too, and it was crazy. It was like so like fast and like service, like okay, next, like it was so busy. And here somebody can come to the restaurant, get one sangria for $2.50 and sip sangria all day, and nobody say a word to them. Like they got sangria, they sitting, enjoying their life, and fine. So such a different lifestyle and absolutely different values, and yeah, like family comes first, like friends time. Like I feel it's way chill, more chill and easier, because in US it was like always like faster. You comparing yourself to your friend, to your this, and in here it's kind of different. There are some very rich people who have like villas and stuff, and we're like, oh cool, it's nice to have this yacht. But on an average, it feels more like you don't need to go crazy. You don't need all these insane things to be happy. I don't know, that's how I feel. In US it was a lot of external pressure. Yeah. So for me personally. But in the same time, I'm saying this, but when I was in Latin America, I did miss US a lot, because things are so easy. Like the way everything is built, like you don't need to work too hard to get some things. You order something, it gets delivered next day. You get like things at night if you want. You get your ice drinks, like so much ice. It's working, like all this viral TikTok videos, and it's true. So many things are good in US, and US is a beautiful country. It's so much to see, so much to travel. But I 100% agree with you that you have to make your money in the US and
go out of there. And the thing is, you know what the problem is? There's just so much that you said that I want to comment on. But the thing is, once you, I made a video the other day, actually. Let me start off by saying this. I made a video on Friday saying that traveling or dating overseas is one of the worst things you could do. Because the thing is, once you get experience to that, once you get exposed to that, it's very hard to come back to America and just settle for what you have here. Because the thing is, our money goes longer in other countries. The lifestyle is much more different than what it is in the United States. And you can probably find more success dating in other countries than what you do here in America. So I was saying, like, yeah, what were you saying, Kat?
That's true about dating, yeah. I have a lot of girlfriends, and they like swiping. I don't know, we were swiping with my girlfriends yesterday, and she was
Spain?
like, oh, American. Yeah, she's in Spain.
You made friends in Spain?
No, she is.
Oh, she lives in Spain.
She came to
Oh.
visit. We went to the aquarium today, like the famous one, the most famous one in Europe, the Valencia aquarium. So, and we were like swiping, and she's like, oh, he's American. So swipe, like, you know, like for her it's like a fun thing, you know, to go on a date with American guy. And it was so funny because it's like so many Spanish people, like other people, and like I don't know, I feel like it's interesting to go on a date because you're American. Like for a girl, it gonna gives you like something extra because in US you're one of the other guys. You know, it gives
Yeah.
a little bit of advantage here, because it's something different. Yeah. Yeah, about dating. But there are some disadvantages too, because like of course you're gonna have family back home, you're gonna have friends back home. So the best thing is to find friends who wanna move together if it's possible. If not, you will have to make some effort to make friends. It's great if you speak Spanish. If you don't, it will be a little bit harder. But still, there are so many activities like sports and signing up for things. There's a lot of opportunities. If you really want it, you're gonna make it. But you're gonna miss people, you're gonna miss certain things. But I feel so much happier. I was miserable. Actually, I was recording this story, an Instagram story, like a year ago, a little bit less than that. And I was saying, like, I don't know if it's me or it's New York or something. The city is just crushing me. I don't know what's happening. I just feel drained. And I was like telling to my followers that. And even though there are some good times and bad times, wherever you go, because you bring yourself with you. And if you like, overall miserable, the other country not going to make you happy. But if you live in a place that is better for your mental health, for your physical health, you eat better food, you get more sunshine, you get better sleep, you have less of the stress for the money, you can, if you want, make your like best life ever. You can be happy basically in any country if you have this like good conditions. And the money is important too, of course. It's like number one question. You have to or make enough to live off your money here, or like I had a little bit of savings that helped me to do this little push. But then I'm doing my business online. Before I worked as a tech recruiter, and that helped me a lot. But now I don't want to do it anymore. I want to do fully coaching business. So yeah, and it's easier because the apartment, you can find something nice for like 1,500, like nice apartment. And yeah, and it's easier if you have a partner, of course.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I mean, that's one of the cons of living overseas, living in a different country, is you're leaving your friends and your family behind. But the way I look at it is, all right, as long as they're well supported, they're well taken care of, and I can see them once in a while, like a couple times a year. Like I'll see them for Christmas, Thanksgiving, like the holiday season, maybe a birthday or two. I think that's good enough for me. Because for me, the thing is, I feel way happier overseas. And that's, like I said, because of the cost of living. Basically, everything you just said. Like, when you don't have to worry about finances so much, you're going to be happier. When you're eating better, when you're sleeping better, when the culture, you feel more connected to the culture. Like, Spanish culture, for example, is very similar to Latin American culture, because that's where Latin American culture comes from, is Spain, which is why we all speak Spanish for the most part, besides Brazil, who speaks Portuguese in Latin America. So I felt very connected to that culture when I went to Spain, and I speak Spanish fluently. So for me, I was actually looking at Spain as one of the countries to move to because I love Spain so much. And I love Seville. I don't know if you've been to Seville yet. Have you been to Seville?
Yet.
Oh man, please, Kat, talk to your husband. Tell him, hey, let's go to Seville. Like,
he went to Seville.
He went to Seville?
Yeah, I was busy with my work. I couldn't go, but he absolutely loved it. But he was there only 3 days, and it was super hot.
Yeah, it's super hot
Good
there.
thing they know how to handle heat. In Spain, they do have ACs, not like Portugal, and they do have a heat in the winter too. So it's actually very comfortable and refreshing. But what you was saying, Seville, like it's on my bucket list. I definitely want to go there. I just gonna wait when it gets a little bit cooler because right
Go
now
in September, October.
yeah. It's
Mm.
absolutely my next destination. And I really love that you speak Spanish because I think for you, like, I don't know, I feel like it's 50% of the success of making friends if you speak Spanish. There are a lot of Ukrainians and a lot of other groups of people that you can still join, and you can be part of the, I don't know, nomadic group. And this group, there's a lot of nomads from different countries. And those people are fun because they've been in a lot of countries. They traveled. They like very interesting to talk to. The thing is, they're not necessarily going to stay. So it's not like a stable friendship situation. But if you want to just hang out or play, like the other day, we went and play Tickets to Ride all together, and people spoke Spanish, but still it was fun because you know the rules, you can play. So yeah, if that's the only thing that's holding you back, the friends, it's very solvable problem. Yeah.
So what else do you suggest in terms of making friends overseas if you happen to be moving to a different country, you happen to be a digital nomad? Like, what do you suggest for them to make friends? Or how
Okay,
to make friends?
so there are like different things. If you just expats or you digital nomads, because nomads, I feel like they keep moving all the time. So you like have few months here, 1 month, and then you move. So it's more of, it's harder to make friends as digital nomad if you keep moving. If you stay at one spot, for example, like at least like 6 months, or you decided you've traveled, you're like, okay, I love Portugal, or I love Spain, or I love certain country, I'm gonna stay here. So that moment, like at least you like, I don't know, sign a lease for 6 months or a year, then you can start making friends because it takes a little bit of time. It's like dating. You need to find some activities that you like to do. Can be volleyball, can be any other sport. There's like tennis and board games, and there's so many Facebook groups or meetup events. You start going to those events, and then you go to local places, go to the bars, go to the coffee shops. You start seeing people. You rent the co-working space. They always have this meetups, events. People talk to each other, you know, and that's the way you're going to make friends. You just expose yourself to people, and sometimes it turns out into dating too. So why not?
I also recommend for anyone that's watching that wants to become a digital nomad, one thing that I used to do when I used to solo travel was I used to go on Airbnb experiences, and I used to do events through them. So they would have pub, like, so let's just say you're into nightlife, but you're not trying to go to the club by yourself, because I get it. Going to the club by yourself can be a little weird. So what I used to do was I used to go on Airbnb experiences, and I used to see they used to have bar crawls, like group bar crawls. And I did one for Madrid, Barcelona, Istanbul. Like, I've done several different ones, and they're always great experiences. You only pay $20. You only pay $20, by the way, and you get free drinks in every single bar you go to. And there's like several bars you're going to.
Oh my God, that's a great idea. I didn't even think of that. That's
Now, I'm giving you and your husband ideas now, so now you know
yeah,
what to do.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna check it out now.
Check it out.
Do it. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Airbnb experiences in general has a lot of stuff to do.
Oh yeah, I actually did one. I did one in Uruguay. We went on this local experience of playing condombe. It's like a special drum, and like it's like festival-ish vibe. A little bit like okay, it's very different from Brazil, fine. But it's like drums, dancers, like salsa, and it's gorgeous. And we only were able to experience it as locals because we went to Airbnb experience, but I've done it only once and I forgot about it. I forgot it was great. And now you remind me, I'm like, oh, I need to do it more because this is the amazing way to meet some local people.
Yeah, because that's one of the struggles of living in a different country is making friends and establishing a social circle. Because at the end of the day, like, we're social beings. We're not meant to be isolated in one corner. And that goes for anywhere in the world. You know, like right now, I'm not going to lie to you. In America, I do feel isolated. And I don't think it has really much to do with me per se. I think it has to do more with how isolated the culture is here. I feel nobody wants to talk to anybody. Everyone's like, all right, don't bother me. I'm too busy. I got things going on. Or if you do have friends, a lot of them go their separate ways when they get married, or maybe they're too busy to hang out with you. They got other things going on. But I feel like in the culture here in America, everyone's isolated into themselves. So that makes it harder to make friends here compared to a place like Brazil, where you can literally go on a elevator and you're making friends because it's a different culture, it's a social culture, and the same thing with Spain.
Yeah, it's also important what kind of person are you. If you really love, like, because everybody needs different amount of socializing and a different amount of culture experiences with other people. My husband, he's more like you. He loves meeting people, talking to everybody. I do need friends, but I will be okay with like 3-4 good friends, and then I talk to people like in casual settings, but I do not need as many friends as he does, which is funny. But I think it's also, you need to know yourself and you need to know how much socializing you want, what kind of society you would love, and the Spanish people are opposite, like so warm, like Brazil.
In fact, they might be a little bit too social. Like I remember when I was in Spain, and Brazil too is the same way. They'll approach you and give you a kiss in the cheek. Like sometimes they might give you a kiss in both cheeks. And I'm like, man, I just met you. I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah, in Uruguay as well, like men, like they kiss each other when they say hello, and my husband was so shocked because this men, they have a lot of hair, and my husband is Asian, and he was like, oh my god, I feel so much hair on me, like it's how women feel. I'm like, yeah, it's like hair is something wrapping in you. It's hilarious. But yeah, you have to know yourself, because some people do love being in the woods alone and don't want to talk to anybody, but it's totally depends on your personal preference. But if you talk about US in general, absolutely it's less socially like, I don't know, it's not as easy to make friends in US too. It took me a long time.
Like people, like I'm the type of guy, I like to be different. Like if I'm in the elevator, I don't use my phone when I'm in the elevator. Like I want to be able to confront social awkwardness, if that makes any sense. Because most people, when they're in the elevator, like they're like on their phones pretending to be busy. But me, I'm the opposite. I look at people when I'm in the elevator, and people think that's weird. But the problem is, back in the 80s and the 90s, that's what people did. Like, you think people went in the elevator together and looked down on the floor back then? Because phones didn't exist. No, they spoke to each other. In a classroom, when I was in college, and the teacher wasn't there, like everyone would be on their phones the entire time. Nobody would want to talk. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. People would actually speak to each other. And the same thing happens in Spain and Brazil. So that's the problem, is I don't like how antisocial or how like everyone is here in America now. Where
because it's so much easier. It's so much easier to just scroll or swipe instead of like looking around and talk to people, because it's pushing you a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And then you like, oh, it's a little bit, as you said, awkwardness and little like, oh, I don't know, should I talk? Before it wasn't an option. Before you had to talk in order to get somewhere. It was no internet, no direction. So, and you were forced to be more social, and it was like very valuable skill if you are social. But now things change a lot because of the phones and because of the internet, and we kind of have to break the ice too, because people, they even so shocked when you start talking to them in US in the elevator. They're like, oh, why are you talking to me? What's wrong? But as you warm up, I noticed that first reaction maybe not as friendly, not always friendly, but then I feel like it's beneficial for both people in the end.
Yeah, and sometimes I go through reverse culture shocks where I'll be in a place like Brazil where that's perfectly normal. People have a whole full-blown conversation anywhere. The elevator, it doesn't matter. Like people are perfectly fine with that. So I started getting used to that because I was in Brazil for almost like 2-3 weeks. So I got used to that type of stuff. So when I came back to America and I tried to do that same thing in America because I forgot how things work in America. People looked at me like, "Why are you talking to me?" Like they didn't say that, but they gave me that look, like, "Why are you talking?" Like, and that's how it is in America, and that's why, like, as much as I like it here and the opportunities and how easily accessible everything is and convenient everything is, like, I don't like that. To me, I'm a social being, and I want to be in a country where other people are also social, like a Spain. Like Spain is a perfect country, and I'm so glad you're in Spain, and I'm so glad you're having a good time there, because Spain is a country that, let's just say when you do have kids, when you do have children or whatever, I have children, whatever, the neighborhood is going to watch over that kid. Everyone knows each other. The neighbors know each other. They all look after each other. They all protect each other. It's like a community. Here in the United States, I don't talk to my neighbors. I hate my neighbors and they hate me too. So like it's a hate, like everyone hates each other here for some reason. And it's the opposite overseas. So I don't like that. To me, that's strange. That's antisocial. And that's why I'm looking at Spain. Spain's cost of living is small. Another thing about Spain is I know the language, so I can easily integrate myself into the culture. I already know how Spain is, how Spanish culture is by now. I've been to Spain twice already. So that's how much I love it. And I also think another aspect that I like about Spain is the dating aspect. Now, I never officially dated in Spain, but I had a lot of girls like approach me to talk to me that were Spanish or that were from a Latin American country. There was a German girl that lived in Barcelona that actually approached, beautiful German woman approached me to talk to me. At the time I was dating someone, I couldn't talk to her. But I was like, imagine if I was single in a place like this. So I feel like dating wise, it meets what I want as well. The food is great, as you said, the tapas, everything, So Spain, like you said, Spain has everything you want in a country. It has amazing beaches, amazing culture. People are barely working. They have a lot of free time. The siesta, you take a nap in the middle of the day, you wake up, you're cool.
And that's definitely rubs off the cultural, like, they feel more relaxed in life. So they are more open to talk to you, to other people. They are not as stressed out. They don't have a million things to do. They can be late or they can rush, but it's so not like, it's way less than in United States. And it's like, it's just like something different in the air that allows you to open up and be more friendly and just relax more, breathe deeper.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that though, Kat. It comes down to the fact that Spain is about living life and family. Those are the two main things that I noticed, that most countries, like Brazil is another country that meet a lot of happy people. And Brazilians work that, I wouldn't say they work great jobs. I know a lot of Brazilians that work like terrible jobs, but they're still happy and they're happier than me. And I'm like, how are you happier than me? And I make good money. I'm in America. Like, how does that work? But the thing is, one, they live a fun life. They're always doing fun things and they're close to family. And I think if you have those things, like, you're always going to be happy, because life is really all about that. Life is about having fun and family, spending time with family and loved ones. And that's what they do in Spain. That's what they do in Brazil, Latin America. And that's why they're so happy and healthy, because of that.